The Leah Sharibu Foundation is seeking the intervention of Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, to help revive efforts to rescue Leah after 6 years in captivity. Leah Sharibu is one of the Dapchi schoolgirls abducted in February 2018 by Boko Haram terrorists. The Christian community in Yobe State have expressed optimism that President Tinubu's administration will do all within its powers to rescue Leah and other girls in captivity. Our correspondents Funam Joshua and Michael Oshoma have details.
It is now 6 years since the Dapchi schoolgirls' abduction in Yobe State, northeast Nigeria. 110 girls from the Government Girls Science and Technical School in Dapchi were kidnapped by the Boko Haram terrorist group to an unknown location. 5 girls lost their lives in the process, and 104 of the abductees were later released by their captors. Leah Sharibu is the only girl whom the terrorists have refused to set free for 6 years now, despite several efforts by the government and non-governmental organizations. The Leah Sharibu Foundation is urging Nigerians not to forget her, as they chatted with journalists in Jos on the anniversary of Leah's abduction. They are pleading with Nigeria's First Lady Remi Tinubu to use her position as the mother of the nation to push for the rescue of Leah and others in captivity.
We do want to speak directly to the First Lady of Nigeria. Your house is an example of how a Christian and a Muslim home should be. Your husband is a Muslim and you're a Christian. And so we ask that, please, can you, in your own position as the First Lady, as a mother, reach out to your husband and demand that Leah Sharibu be brought. We have been waiting for 6 years. Leah Sharibu's parents are heartbroken. Today, I can imagine what they are going through.
I can assure you that the release of our daughter, Leah Sharibu, will be a token of truth coming up to Nigeria and hope for many people, regardless of religion and gender. The return of this girl will say a lot about the future and the hope of our nation.
The safe rescue of Leah Sharibu and other citizens in captivity will bring relief and hope to their immediate families and the country as a whole. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
In February 2018, Boko Haram terrorists kidnapped 110 schoolgirls in Dapchi community of Yobe State. The unfortunate incident attracted global attention. It sparked protest on the street in Nigeria and an advocacy on social media. Some days later, the kidnapped girls were returned to Dapchi, but Leah Sharibu was not released. Since then, nobody knows the whereabouts of Leah. She has spent more than 6 years in the den of her captors, and her traumatized parents are still patiently waiting to be reunited with their missing daughter. In an interview recorded more than 3 years ago, Leah's father was still optimistic that one day his daughter will return home.
So I'm calling on Mr. President himself personally to fulfill his promise, because he has promised the family, he promised even the nation, that his administration will do his possible best to see my daughter return home safely. So I'm pleading to him directly that he should fulfill his promise as a father.
The Christian community in Yobe State is hopeful that the Tinubu administration's new security strategy would fast-track the release of Leah Sharibu.
I personally have this confidence that he is up to the task, and we call on him to do all that he can do by the grace of God upon his life to help intervene and see that Leah Sharibu is brought back during his regime, and it will be a credit to him.
So this is 6 years exactly, with some few days, that Leah Sharibu has been taken in this Yobe State. But we are still praying, we did not lose hope. We are still praying that the present government, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will do everything at its disposal to release her. Whatever happens to her, we will be very, very much happy, to see her again.
There are rumors that Leah was forcefully married to one of the commanders of the insurgents and has given birth to 2 children.
We learned, she has been married off, she have children, whatever happened to her, we still love her, we still want to see her. She has the freedom to go to school, and then to see her parents and many other people.
The wait for Leah Sharibu's return continues, but it is not clear when the grieving parents will be reunited with their lost child. Michael Ushoma, TVC News, Damaturu, Yobe State.
Dr. Zara Yusuf is an advocate for child education and a gender activist. She joins me on the news at 10. Thank you for joining us this hour, Dr. Ahmed. You mentioned that you have taken into custody, one of the girls who was released 8 years after abduction. Talk to us about the kind of preparation that needs to be made for such girls who have been in the custody of these terrorists for that long.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Good day. Concerning the abducted girls, not even Leah Sharibu, but any other girls that were abducted by these Boko Haram insurgents, I think is a very sad situation for every other human being, and also as a woman, I know how it feels to lose a daughter and even a child particularly. So the abducted girls have undergone a lot of issues in the hands of the insurgents, and some of them were able to escape on their own when they got the opportunity to do that, while others still remain there. So the agony surrounding this issue of abducted girls and for them to reunite with their family, I think is a complex issue that is relevant to the people that were abducted and also those that the abductees and the abductors, and also the role of government to see how they can bring back these girls that were abducted.
So it's one thing to have them released. It's another thing entirely to rehabilitate them and integrate them back into the society. How much help would you say the released girls are getting from government in this regard?
Yeah, there was an already laid out processes of reuniting and also reuniting the abducted children to the community, reintegration. So it's surrounding a lot of issue around that is that the people in the community tend to reject these people when they come back from the let me say the Sambisa. Once the community understood that these people were once abducted by Boko Haram, they tend to reject them. Unlike myself, when I came in contact with these girls, she was also one of the girls that were abducted from a school in Yobe State, exactly, from FGC Bunyadi. So when I heard about her, I was also an alumni of that school, and her report came to me by her schoolmates telling me that she's back after 8 years when she was abducted. And I couldn't feel anything. I just felt that this is my sister that was just abducted in the school that I just finished. I just see her as somebody that I knew, although she, when she was in the school, I've already graduated, but I feel that sense of oneness that she is my sister. I just have to go and see her, and I didn't feel anything. So the first thing is to remove that fear from people of the community. Let them understand that these people were part of us before they undergo that process of abduction by other people. Anybody can fall a victim for that. And if it's your child, I think there's no way you would start thinking twice or maybe thinking other way to see that you come in contact with them. Sit down and discuss with them what they undergo and see where you can support them. So the first thing I did was to go and see this girl and tell her that I'm with her. Let me see what her needs are. I try to identify her needs and see how I can liaise with partners and get a support for her immediately. We have a short-term support, the medium-term support, and the long-term support for her. And God be the glory, we were able to we were able to achieve all the support that we needed for her, and to my surprise, she was able to rehabilitated as soon as she can, because she has gotten all the support that she needed from me.
Hopefully, Leah Sharibu can also be as lucky, first to be released, and to get all the support she needs afterwards. Dr. Zara Yusuf, gender activist, thank you so much for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you.